Hey, what's up, everybody? So, it is Sunday, which means it is the weekly close, and we can see we have a very beautiful looking, strong, bullish hammer style weekly candle. It is coming off of an engulfing candle, and it is also in the retracement levels, and we also see it approaching the this swing high over here, which would be the weekly close of December, the first week of December. So the biggest thing we can possibly do in the next 5 hours would be to close above that line. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible. I mean, it could be, right? Usually Sundays are very hard to move. I mean, you can see, look at the rest of the market here. Things are pretty much down to flat, right? So look at Theta Fuel up 11%. We'll talk about that. Yeah, so we want to see how this week coming up is going to be, because I think this is going to be a very important week. We're coming up on Trump's inauguration, and that's going to be on Monday. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I think we're looking really good. So what I'm noticing is we see this triangle here, right? And you can see we broke that triangle to the upside. So you can make the case that continuation is coming. Now, how does that continuation look? Well, we would have to look at the smaller time frames here. It could also, be some kind of diagonal. So like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, right? And then you would get like an ABC pullback, and then you would go up. Or even way better, 1, 2, 1, 2, and now we're in the middle of some impulse, or even another 1, 2, leading up to a wave 3 and a big breakout. Like I said several days ago, XRP looks way more bullish than the rest of the market. There's also a rumor potentially that Trump will make US-based crypto, blockchain, fintech companies tax-free, which will really accelerate the process of price action if that's the case, right? We'll see about that. I'd imagine he would throw Bitcoin in there as well, just because that's a big base of support. Or maybe even all crypto tax-free. I don't know. We'll see how it plays. But yeah, I think nothing wrong with the price at all. The smaller time frames, you got a little bit of an issue here. I mean, you do have a nice three-way pullback. You got it. You got your impulse. You got a three-way pullback, and you're just kind of grinding out in here. So I don't know how that's going to look. I'm not sure what that is. We're going to have to wait and see. It could be maybe an inverse head and shoulders. It could be a B wave, so like a W or an X, and then you get a Y and then go, or like an ABC, right? So we'll see how it plays out. But ultimately, we should be able to hold 243, right? So if we had to pull back, that would be the spot that I would look for supports to come in. And then below that, maybe 239. So as long as we're above 240, I think we're doing really well. All right, let's look at some other charts here. So we're going to start with, let's go with Theta here. So to me, this is either a fourth wave or a bottoming process. I don't know which one it's going to be. It still needs a lot of work. It still isn't developed the way I like to see bottoms developed, it looks more like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if this is itself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, right, that could even be a wave 1. This is a wave 2. And then we go wave 3, 4, and 5. And we take that low. Or maybe not. Maybe it's truncated. That's just the bearish way to look at it, because I just don't like that. That right there is just, it's just not good. It just doesn't look right. Now, I think it could be fixed. I just think it needs evidence that it is going to be fixed. For example, this could be a 1, and this could be like 3, 3, and then 5. So a 1 and some kind of flat here for a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So like an A, a B, and a C. So you got 1, 2, and then let's go. But we need to see a base get formed. I mean, we are starting to see a base here, but let's see. Let's look a little bit closer. It looks okay. I mean, it could be better. It kind of seems a little bearish here. I think it needs to come down here and finish, and it needs to kind of round out in there. So I want to see this round out. Or this is going to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then maybe another hit to the low, and then something like that, where you get that divergence in here. So it needs work. Let's just put it that way. Algorand is looking a little better because it's significantly off the low here. You got a clear impulse, and it looks like you have an A, B, and a C working in here. So it definitely looks way better. You also have like, you know, 1, 2, 1, 2 here on that support line. Let's build some momentum and go. Bearish idea would be kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And this would be, yeah, I don't like it as a 1, 2, but it would be like a 1, 2. Yeah, see, it wouldn't work. I was going to say 1, 2, or actually 1, A, B, C. But I don't like that. Yeah, we just need time. We need time to work this out. Aave, I mean, similar with Aave here, it's just looking a little funky. I do like this 3-wave move here, but I'm not sure what's going to happen in here. Maybe we have to hit the low again and then go up. I mean, it kind of setting up like that a little bit here. You can see, you see how we came down and we're just kind of chugging and chugging and chugging and chugging and chugging, and it's very corrective. So it just seems to me that it needs to come down before it can go up, if it's going to go up. I think it will go up. I just don't know if we need a fifth wave, right? So like 1, 2, I mean, you could say 3, 4, and 5, and it's finished. And this is a 1, 2, and now we're just kind of revving up here. Very, very possible. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're kind of working on a 4 and then a 5. But this is getting too big in time, I would imagine. So my final assessment would be, maybe we have to hit the low a little bit here. You have this trend line. Maybe we got to break down a little bit and then come back up. Unless this thing can just keep chugging and firing up and breaking these two highs. If we could do that, so those are the routes that I'm looking at. Matic. Oh, Matic. Yeah, I see a little bit of an ascending triangle, kind of, a little bit of a triangle. But it could also be a fourth wave triangle. 1, 2, 3, fourth wave triangle, hit the low 5, and then go. So either 1, we need to break these highs, or 2, we need to break the low and then continue. So it'd be something like that, in my opinion. And my opinion is not financial advice. I don't know for sure, but I can tell you that I'm very bullish long term, and I believe we will get an alt season during the Trump administration at some point, and even very likely this year. And it's my belief it will be very soon, because again, when you look at XRP, it's literally so close to being very, very, very powerful. Yeah, because another reason too is this could be a very excellent opportunity, because when we look at, for example, let's pull up Theta here. And if we look at Theta, right in here, we've been tracking this sort of fractal, and you can use any chart really. But yeah, you could see, we have 3 up, hit the low, 3 up, hit the low. Then you come and you take the top, you come and you take the top, and then you come all the way down and you break that low. You come all the way down, maybe we come here and we break the low, and then you immediately come back up like this, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking maybe here. I would love for the low to be in. And it very well could be in. I like the way, if it was a little bit, you see how it's kind of trailing up here? Usually they break down. But if it's kind of like a U shape, like let's see if we could find an example here. Like this. See how this was like kind of like a U shape? That's what you want, right? Some type of structure like that. You could even see it on the reverse right here, right? Even right in here, you can see the U shape right there. That U-shaped bottom, right? And what we have right now is kind of a U shape. It's kind of got that little shape in there, right? It's kind of got that in there, but it kind of needs to, it just needs a little bit more time. You can see it's dumping right now. So anyways, that's the fractal, that's Matic. Let's look at the smaller time frames here. See, this looks impulsive. This looks corrective. And now it looks like maybe we impulse again. We really, really want to hold. If this is a true range, we want to hold in here. But preferably, we would want to hold right in here. So it could be also a Wyckoff accumulation. I just don't really like it a lot. I mean, you can kind of see maybe a creek coming in here, and then a spring, and then come up like this and then go, right? So 1, 2, 3, creek, liquidity grab, something like that. Just throwing out, I'm just throwing out ideas. These are just ideas based off the wave structure, right? So eventually this thing will get resolved, and I'm assuming we will come back up into the retracement levels, right? So we just have to wait. It's taking look, it's taking some time in here. I mean, see, the issue is, like last time, we kind of shot in and shot out quickly. We're spending a lot of time down here. And that's okay, but we're going to need to see some follow through, because what we don't want is a lot of consolidation and then a breakdown. But if it's a quick breakdown, like a fifth wave, and it comes down and then comes right back up, that's okay. So if we look at the weekly chart, it's probably ugly. Yeah, it is. And the weekly chart is basically going to close below all of this. So we want to see a weekly candle with a big wick. So if we could get bought up really nicely, we could see a nice wick. Kind of like this candle here, where you had that wick here. But we don't have that. So we might have to wait another week or two. Filecoin, it's a little bit better. It's kind of trending up. Let's look at the small time frames here. Yeah, just see, I don't like the bottom though. It doesn't look good. See the bottom here? See how it's kind of like a rising wedge? It looks like it's going to come down. And then once it gets down here, then it's probably going to go back up. Or it's going to break the low and then go back up. So if you look kind of like a dot here, you see how it's kind of getting wedged in here? As opposed to just kind of like ranging like this, right? A lot of times, they could break up, they could break down. That's what I'm trying to say here. And I would say you're probably going to break down a little bit, test these lows, maybe even wick above it, and then go up. That's kind of what it seems to me. So what I would do is just get a trend line, very basic here, and just put it right there. And if you break that trend line, then maybe evaluate your position or whatever. But as it stands now, it looks not bad at all, because you have an ascending triangle here. So if we can hold this and get back up here and then break out, that's going to be great. If we break down, we'd probably come down and revisit these lows, but then I'd imagine it swooping up, unless we got to do like a liquidity grab here and then do something like that. I think it's going to be one of those. It's probably not entirely helpful, but what is helpful is that when you zoom out, the bigger picture, however this gets resolved, should be up. So that's all that matters if you're a hodler investor, right? Is the overall direction of where it is going to go over the next several months, years, right? Yeah, because you look at this base. I mean, we've been here since July of 2022. Here's July of 2025. Obviously, we're not there yet, but you could see July, that's 1 year. You got 2 years. So you got 2.5 years, right? So we've been here 2.5 years in here. So that's a significant amount of time. And this rally here was more impulsive than this one, and this one. Right? And then also, actually, put that there. You could see kind of your Wyckoff, boom, boom, and then your creek here, kind of rounded out, right? Pop the high, and then maybe you play around a little bit and then break out. So that's kind of what we should be expecting. Now, if we take this low out and we come all the way back down here, it's just going to make it not as pretty. It could still be a 1 and a 2, but it's just going to take more time. That's all I'm saying. I like that there's some bullish divergence. You could see these lows in here. You can see these a little bit higher, especially on the daily. I'm sure it's even better on the potentially the 8-hour chart here. Yeah, so you could see that there. And then also I forgot to turn the sequential on. Let's see if we have any sequentials in here. Yeah, so on the 8-hour chart you could see almost a 9. Let's bump that up to the 12. No, we didn't get one on the 12, unfortunately. But we did get one on the 6, and it does look good. And it's in the right spot. And then it's following a 1 and a kind of a 2 here. So this could be a 1, and we could be cocking back for a 2. And the way it will get activated is breaking above those red dots. So once we break above those red dots, haha, no pun intended, we could see some, a nice decent retracement. So, I mean, they're pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. H bar, definitely different. XRP, different. Well, we have, it's kind of, there's a lot of different ways you can count it, but you got 3 there, you got a 3 there, and you got 3 here. That's probably how I would count it. W, X for a flat, and then Y for another flat. Very complex correction. And most people can't, most people would probably say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, right? And then you would have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, B. And now we're going down for C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C. Now that's totally fine. And maybe that's the count. And I mean, it could totally be the count, right? And now that I look at it, it actually looks pretty good. I just don't really care for the B, but yeah, I mean, it's a little bit scary to think about that. But what I can say is I do like this as a 3 here. It does look like a nice 3-way move. I don't know if it's finished or not. So we're in a tough spot here. I'd say for the most part we're very close, but we're not completely finished. You could just see the range in here, right? Up, down, right? You get these little bear flags in here. So, it's just kind of a wait and see, right? There's no sense of trying to figure all this out until we actually see some data. But for the most part, I mean, this kind of looks bearish just by looking at it. This right here. It's bearish because it looks like a bear flag. Like if I flipped it upside down, it kind of looks like an impulse with an ABC, and here's another impulse, and now we're flagging out, right? So it looks better upside down. I do like this rounded bottom here. And I do like the fact that it broke out. And I do like the fact that it back tested. But this right here needs to fix itself, right? So if we can hold in here and start trending up, it's going to look way better. Ethereum, kind of the same, it's rounding out in here. Again, maybe we hit the low, maybe we don't. It's hard to know right now. CRV actually looks good. See, this is what I like. You could see it's got a very nice bottom. It's got an impulse. It's got 3 down, maybe 3 up, maybe 3 back down, right? Looks pretty decent. XLM also looks pretty decent. Let me see. Yeah. You know, you kind of slam down, you come right back up. It could be an ABC, right? So you got point A, point B, point C. It's hard to know where this is going. Looks like it could be a diag. Or even a 1-2-1-2. You know, we're holding support in here. Now we're flagging out. Maybe we hit the low a little bit and continue. Again, these are just ideas. Look at this. You kind of got a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder here. That's something to take note of. Jupiter. Yeah, I like the bottom. I think this is the bottom. I mean, this is the bottoming process. I think we're close. If we have to hit the low again, I mean, just hitting the low though is a good. You know, let's see here if that was that could be a good 5-6, even 7% move if we had to. So I think we're close, guys. I think we're close. You can kind of see this behavior kind of right in here. But you can see, like, here's a good example how you kind of had to wick down a couple times before you got your footing and then go up. Okay, Monero, I wanted to check this one out. Ooh. You got a pop to the upside. We tapped into that, but we quickly came back down. That's okay. I'm looking at this kind of like as an ascending triangle potentially here. And you break out, and now we're coming all the way down to retest it. Monero is a slow burner, and I think it's going to be really good. Look at this. So this is cool. Monero is this structure here, right? You have a rise, a crash, a retrace, reaccumulation, long sideways. Okay, now watch this. Now when I zoom out, that's actually the whole chart. That's exactly what's happening, just on a bigger scale. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, long sideways, breakout. And then we zoom in right in here on the very small time frames. Look at this. Same thing. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, long sideways. It's basically printing a fractal of itself. That's pretty cool. So I like this kind of groovy, I call it a groovy 3-wave move here. And you're just basically doing, and by the way, this is the same structure that XRP printed before it blasted off into space. Well, not quite space yet, but we're getting there. I'd say we're maybe in the ionosphere or the stratosphere or something. We're at the top. So there we go. Look at that. See it? Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, waiting for the breakout. Okay, now look at this. We go up to the monthly. Guys, look at this. Whoa, this is serious stuff. Monero is getting me very, I don't know if it's going to play, but I think it will. I don't know. It's kind of like, look at that. You got the breakout, and look where we're at, guys. We're right there. So we could get something like this. And if we get an alt season, I'm pretty sure we're going to get it. we're going to get the breakout, right? And I got like an 8x leveraged position. I'm not even supposed to tell you that. But and it's not financial advice, but I have an 8x. I don't do 100x, I don't do 50x, I don't do 20x, I don't even do 10x really. The most I go is 11 on rare occasions, but I try to stay between 5, 6, and 7. But for Monero, just for Monero, I'm on an 8x position. And let's check that out. So I actually got in. I actually have a whole new position, but I actually got in like right around in here. And I rode that up. And then I got out somewhere. And then we came down. And then I got back in. It was 195. So I got in at 195. So it's actually pretty close to my entry. Nah, not too bad. But I'm willing to hold it. You know, if I have to, I'll break even if we come slamming down. But let's see, where's 195 at? Right about there somewhere. There it is. So it's 195.25. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst either. And I want to say when we pulled back in here, we had this big wick right here. I think I got in there. It came up. It came below my position. I held it. Now we're still there. So I'm just proving, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. You know, I don't care. Monero is a privacy coin. I'm not bullish on Monero because of its features. I'm bullish on Monero because of the chart. That is it. That is the only reason. Also, it's cool because it's a privacy coin, right? And if we get like a deep state cyber attack, or we get the deep state trying to hound us for whatever reason when it comes to things like that, maybe when we audit the Federal Reserve and we see all the crookedness in the financial system, because I think there's going to be a financial great awakening in the Trump era, and we're going to see maybe a push to privacy because, you know, because like look at WikiLeaks, right? When WikiLeaks came out, all that stuff came out, right? And people were just at awe of what took place. So we could get another wiki style leak showing bankers and politicians and corporations spying and tracking your financials, right? And then what's that going to do? It's going to scare people like, oh, look at what they did to Wells Fargo. You know, people are in Wells Fargo or Bank of America or whatever, right? Look what they did. You know, they spied, or they, you know, like Lehman Brothers in 2008, you know, they had the whole, it's a banking sort of, what do they call it? Scandal, right? Some type of scandal. And it could be a privacy scandal. And maybe that's, I don't know. I'm just assuming, because if something big happens with Monero, I'm not saying it is, but I'm looking at the chart. It looks really good. Look at this. You have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. You're going sideways. You're going sideways for a long time. This is a beautiful, very beautiful looking base. You have a very nice looking V-shaped recovery. If we can U-shape up here, it's going to look amazing. This is what Amazon did right before it went on the biggest bull run of its life. So I'm just letting you know this could be maybe the beginning of it. I think it's Monero is probably a very low risk, high reward play. It's got to be one of my top fives, 100%. Not financial advice, but yeah, it's amazing the way it looks. So what I'm saying is, what could be the narrative to attach itself if we had a big breakout? Because everyone's going to go, oh my God, look at Monero, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And then we see, you know, something to push people into privacy, right? Because they've been spying on us. You know, the government spies on you, right? They look through your cameras. They look through, you know, look at Facebook, right? Look at, it used to be called LifeLog, And it was created by DARPA, which is a high security or, whatever, one of those surveillance companies to surveil on people's lives. That's why, like, if you go on vacation, as I post about it, like, hey, I'm going, but you're not really supposed to do that, because you don't want to let everyone know where you're going because it could leave your house vulnerable if people knew, right? But anyway, I try to post pictures after I come home from vacation rather than during, but just me. By the way, I bought something and I'll probably show you on the next video. It is amazing. It is a dream come true to own this thing. That it's a machine that I bought, and it is by far the coolest thing I've ever owned in my life. And I can't wait to share it with you. So get ready. But yeah, this looks really cool. That's why I'm hoping crypto plays out, so that way I can pay this thing off. Maybe I got a little bit ahead of myself here. But nah, I think we're good. Bitcoin. Just look at Bitcoin, guys. It kind of looks like it's leveling off in here. Right? That's why I'm not a Bitcoin investor. The time to be a Bitcoin investor was right here. I'll show you. Right here. The last time I bought Bitcoin seriously for a hodl position was all the way back. Obviously, a little bit in here. But, yeah, it was there. But really, in here. Once we got above 10K, I just didn't feel like owning it anymore. Do we have any sequentials on Bitcoin? Like on the monthly? Yeah, see, we had a monthly 9 here. And we broke out. That's really good. But I'm curious to see. Oh, guys. We're coming up on a quarterly 9. So in like 3 months. So basically, put it this way. I'm going to be all out of crypto. Well, when I say all out, I probably mean like 50, 65% all out of my trade or long positions by January, February, March. Why do I say that? Because we're coming up on a 9. This is serious stuff. Look at this. The last time we had a 9 sell on the quarterly candle was back here. The 3-month 9 quarterly candle called the exact top of the Bitcoin bull run. And this is not just an ordinary 9. This is a 3-month 9. Usually you go, okay, a 4-hour 9, a daily 9, very important. Weekly 9, very important. A monthly 9, extremely important. A 3-month 9, like, it's beyond important. Very, very, very important. And it looks like it should be a perfected 9. But here's the weird part about it. Just because in 3 months you get a 9 doesn't mean it's over. It could take an additional 3 months to turn the price around. For example, we're on a number 8. Let's say we go up. And then it's March, and then the candle closes. And now we're on a 9. And the 9, look at this 9 over here. Right? So this 9, pretend it ended in... pretend the 8 ended in March, right? So then we had March, April, May, June. So that we actually had another 3 months. So it's actually 6 months, guys. It's 6 months. Okay? 6 months, I should be all out. So we got 2 months and 20 days for this candle to end. And then we have another 3 months for the 9 to end. And then at that point, So I would say within 6 months, we should probably be out of crypto. It depends though. We have to, it's very hard to see 6 months in the future, but I'm just solely basing it off this nine, right? And you can't solely base it off one thing. This is just one of many, 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 many things that we have to take into consideration. But it does look like a beautiful nine that's going to set up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we get a big nine, and then it's over. Okay, Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel had a big pump, and I'd be foolish not to talk about it. So I don't know what happened here. I don't know the reason why. Maybe someone can comment below and tell me what happened with Theta Fuel. But what I can tell you is it looks pretty good, right? We had a 1, 2, 1, 2. We have a really nice base. Look like even a Wyckoff scenario here. We have a big breakout. We closed on the 12-hour candle. The daily candle looks good still, even though it has a nasty looking wick. So yeah, as long as we close the day above this line here, above that number, 0.0721, right around there, I'd say we're doing pretty good. A lot of times when you get these big pumps, it could be a liquidity reason. For example, like let's say the order books, there was low volume and somebody put a big market order in and it fluctuated the price rapidly. And that's why you had this big pump and dump, right? And wouldn't even call it a pump and dump. I would call it a pump and a back test. And it's so bullish that we haven't even back tested yet, right? So if this was a fake pump, which I don't think it was, but I think something along the line of a thin order book, the combination of low volume on a Sunday, a thin order book, right, could have been the reason why this pumped. But maybe there's another reason, I don't know. Maybe fundamentally, I know the CEO of Theta tweeted out something big. I don't really follow. I try to, guys. I try to follow all the latest and greatest stuff. I just don't have time. The chart tells me everything I need to know, really. But that's why I have other people to listen to, to get my information, because I just, but yeah, Theta looks amazing. Theta Fuel looks way better than Theta right now, 100%. But let's do a little compare and contrast. Let's look at them both side by side. Now look at this. Whoops. I want Theta on this side here. There we go. And then I want to go to, we go to the daily. Perfect. And then we're going to go here, and then we're going to go to the daily. Perfect. And now we're going to actually, no, we're going to go to the 2-day. And we're going to go to the 2-day. So look at this. So there is big differences here, right? You could say, well, look at Theta, it's pumping. Why isn't Theta pumping? Well, because look what Theta is at, or Theta Fuel is at. Look where Theta is at, though. Theta came all the way up nearly to the top. Theta Fuel, on the other hand, did not. It only came right around there. So if we draw some fibs, this is where Fibonacci's come in handy. You can see we made it all the way to the 886, and we're currently a hair under the 618. You do the same thing for Theta Fuel. Look at that. It actually went up pinpoint, almost nailed the 702. So we basically went up for Theta 702, 786, 886. For Theta Fuel, we only went up to the 702. Right? But now fast forward right now, we're sitting at the 50. Theta itself is above the 50. So on the Richter scale, Theta is still overvalued compared to Theta Fuel, right? Based on the fib levels. See, this looks more impulsive. This looks more like it's cocking up, getting ready to be impulsive. So anyways, that's all I wanted to say right there. They both look pretty good. Go to the 4-hour chart here. Oh man. Okay, yeah, there we go. So when we look at this time frame, Theta Fuel looks way better. You could see we had a nice base, we broke out. This, we kind of are breaking a little bit down here. So, but yeah, but when you zoom out, it kind of, it's all going to even itself out over time, right? So anyways, guys, I think that'll do it for this video. I don't think there's anything really left. I didn't really look at Bitcoin on the small time frames. We could do that real quick. Yeah, it's holding the lows. You know, we got some lower lows in here. They're holding, right? So we could see it in ABC. So here's the thing. This could be A, B, and then we get C. Or C is already finished, and it was a truncated C, and now this could be a 1 and a 2, or it could be a range before we go up, right? So idea number 1, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Idea number 2, ABC, it's finished, we're building a base, and then we go up. But this one would also go up. So it's just all a matter of what happens in here. Doesn't look that pretty because you got this head and shoulders, but you know, when you have a shoulder, a shoulder, a shoulder, a shoulder, a shoulder, a shoulder, you know, a shoulder, you know, it's a little bit concerning, but a lot of times, you know, it's kind of just pulling back before it breaks out. So yeah, we'll see. Now one more look on XRP here. Gosh, it looks so pretty, man. Beautiful wave structure. I have a guy, he never traded XRP ever. Like, I mean, he does, but now he's trading it all the time, and he's not even looking at Bitcoin, really trading it, because Bitcoin structure looks trashy. For the longest time, XRP structure looked trashy. I mean, who wanted to trade all this crap, right? It was just a mess in here. And by the way, we conquered this. If you go back and watch my videos, you know, all throughout in here, you'll notice a theme, and that theme was an idea, and that idea played out perfectly. And that idea was, well, there was a couple of them, but they all were pretty much the same, was this. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and we had a 3-wave pullback, right? So we had an A, we had a B, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C. So we had a 1 and then a 2. And I said that was extremely bullish. And then what made it even more bullish is when we pumped up here and then we started flagging out. So we had another 1 and another 2. And look what the hell happened after that. It was astonishing. Now, if that wasn't the count, then it was still the count, because look at this. You had 3, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you had 3 up, right? 3 up. And then you had 3 down. Boom, boom, boom. What comes next? 5 up. 1, 2, 3, Now we're in 4. We still need 5, guys. See, I kind of forgot. I haven't been talking about this range at all anymore since we broke above it. But it's important to go back and look at the range and remember where we came from. So everybody was just gnarly in here, just selling XRP, talking trash, this and that. It's just crappy, 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 crappy. And they were right. They were right. But you're only right for so long until you're wrong. Right? So, yeah, I just, I don't fault people for thinking that because it is torturous being in here. But that's why, as a technician, you have to look at this structure here. And this structure right here, I don't really care about. It's this structure that I care about. This is the structure because when you correct to the downside, that means you're going to react to the upside. Just like how we corrected to the upside, right? We could have reacted to the downside, but we didn't react to the downside. Instead, we corrected to the upside, but then we also corrected to the downside. Boom, 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 boom. Right? You have this little thing and then pop. And that is exactly kind of like Bitcoin here. Right? Not even close. It's not even the same. It's not even in the same category. But what I'm saying is like this look here. You see this kind of this look? Right? How you kind of go, whoops, like this, like this, like this, like this. Totally different, but kind of not. This is coming from a downtrend. This is coming from an uptrend. That's the difference, right? It could be bad, but yeah, it actually looks pretty decent. Boom, boom, and then you've got this, and then you move down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you shoot up, then you flag out. You shoot up, then you flag out. Then you break out, then you break out. Maybe, maybe not. Not financial advice. Thank you guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. And if you can hit that like button, I'd really appreciate that. And drop a comment. Let me know what you think. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.